Right, you're thinking of starting an online business or a sideline business while you're still working, but you're not sure where to start. I've got your back here. So maybe you're worried about time or money or even whether your idea is going to work at all. So today I'm just going to give you 21 quickfire tips to think about before starting your business, before you dive in. And trust me, knowing these up front is going to save you a lot of time and frustration. Let's dive in. I'm just going to read off these 21 ideas. Okay, 21 essentials you need to know. So first of all, number one, this is just a no-brainer. Start with why. You need to have a why you're starting your business. When I first started my business and I hired a coach to help me, he kept asking me, what's your why? Why are you doing this? And I didn't have an answer for him. I didn't have an answer. You've got to know why. Why do you want this business? Is it extra income? Is it freedom? Is it a passion project? You need to know why, so that you need to know if it's going to sustain you in the long term. Is it going to give you a reason to get out of bed in the morning? Is it going to give you a reason to continue when times get tough in your business? It's not always going to be smooth sailing. There's going to be ups and downs. And during the downs, when you know your why, that's going to see you through. So think about your why. That's number one. Number two, you got to have the right business model. Now, there's all sorts of different business models that you can use. It's up to you what you want to try. Which one moves you best? Do you want to go into coaching? Do you want to be a consultant? Are you going to be selling digital products? Or is it going to be service-based? Is it going to be a hybrid of these? You've got to know what you're going to be selling at the start. Right? Number three, know your client. You have to know who your ideal client is, because that's the key to knowing how to sell to them. Okay, people buy solutions, they don't buy things. That's another thing to think about. You want to build an offer that's not just a product. You're actually addressing a challenge your ideal client has, and you're wanting to give them a solution to that challenge. They don't just buy products, they buy answers to their problems, they buy transformation in some way. So that's what you've got to think about. So if you come in with the mindset of you're serving your clients, that's going to work for you, not just that you're building a product to sell. If money alone is your main motivator, that's not the best place to start a business, right? So think about that as well. Next one is to validate your idea. So before you go out and build everything, do all your marketing, create your products, things like that, you just want to test out your idea first with potential customers. Just do a bit of market research, ask around, put like we call a minimal viable product out there. Just test to see if there's interest. If there's interest, then you can build the rest out. But don't go and spend a lot of time building a whole business and spending months and months and months at doing it, and then finding when you put your product out there that nobody's interested in it. You don't want to do that. So always just test that there's interest in your product first. Okay. 6, start lean. Start lean. You don't need a fancy website and a logo and your branding as you first start off. You want to sell first, get a few clients in the door first, get some income coming in, and then you can use those funds to then create your website, your logo, and you can refine everything later. You just need the basics up at the start. You can build on that as you go ahead. Okay, start lean. Get the clients in first. Number 7, pick a niche. Now, you want to be a specialist, not a generalist. If you're a generalist, you're talking to everybody, and then everybody thinks that you're not talking to them. If you're a specialist, you're specializing in one particular solution to a problem, then people with that problem are naturally going to gravitate to you. And that makes your marketing easier as well, because your messaging will be so much clearer. Create a simple brand. That's number 8. Create a simple brand. You want professional email, social media, and a clear message. And when I say professional email, don't start in your business to email your customers with your company name at gmail.com. That is not a professional look. Actually have your URL as your email for your business. Create social media accounts that make you look professional and make sure all of them have the same brand look and feel, so your brand is consistent across all. And you want a clear message as well. So really, if the message is clear, they're going to buy from you. A confused mind doesn't buy. All right, so you need to work on having a clear message. So building a simple brand with a clear message, consistent look across all your social media sites, and a professional email address. Number 9, time management is key. Time management is key. So treat it like a real business, even if it's part-time. That's a mistake I made for a long time. I had my agency running, and that was my cash cow, if you like. That's where all the business was coming in from. But I knew I wanted to do the coaching and the consultancy on the side. And I wasn't really treating that like a real business. It became if I have time, I'll do it. Don't do that. You need to really focus on when you're starting a business. Schedule off time in your timetable every week to work on your business and decide what part of the day is going to be devoted to that business and that business alone. All right, treat it like a business. You still be doing it part-time, but treat it like a business. Set clear goals. Number 10. Set clear goals. So if you don't have goals, how do you know if you've hit your goals? You won't. And then also by having a goal, that's a motivation to work towards it. If you know that you're going to want to have a certain revenue at the end of the month, if you're monitoring that on a daily and a weekly basis, then you're more likely to hit that goal when you're conscious of it and you're striving towards it all the time. And we get what we focus on. So if you focus on hitting that goal, the chances are you are going to hit it. All right, so focus on your clear goals. What is your monthly revenue going to be? What are you going to target to make? How many clients do you need to see in order to hit that goal? And if you're selling products, how many products do you have to launch and sell in order to hit that goal? Number 11, learn marketing. Learn marketing. You need to be visible, period. This is why I'm passionate about personal branding. And nowadays in AI as well, with AI coming up, people buy from people. And now with AI, it's, am I speaking to a real person or not? Yes, you can use AI, and I do recommend using AI in your marketing, but you've got to show up as well, and you've got to be visible. So learn marketing, because if people can't see you, they don't know your shop exists, they're not going to buy from you. So make yourself visible. The more you can spread out your messages across platforms, the more people are going to see you as well. Leading on from that, number 12 is leverage social media. So choose 1 or 2 platforms and show up consistently. That is the key word, consistently. If you're just sporadic and you put some content out sometimes, and then you don't put content out for a while, the algorithms are just going to work against you, because you'll have to start from scratch again the next time you put content out. It has a snowball effect if it's consistent. If it's not consistent, you're not going to get that reach that you're wanting. So do show up consistently. As I say, you can have your presence across multiple platforms and try to be doing multiple platforms. But if that's too difficult to start off with, if you haven't got the team to do that, and you haven't got any spare resources to do that at the beginning, then just pick 2. Just pick 2 and really go full in on those 2 platforms first. So 13, email. Email is gold. Build a list from day one. There's a common phrase that is bandied about, the money's in the list, and that is so true. Now, why is that true? I get a lot of resistance on this when I say email is gold and you need to build your list. People resist, like, email? I don't look at email. But you do look at email. You do, because everybody has an email address. They're going to check their email from time to time anyway. Yes, all the social mobile app messaging apps are popular, and that's a way to get to people for sure. But with email, you're respecting people's time more. And I think the days of instant messaging and getting a reply are going, because people now are starting to get jaded with the instant messaging. They're also starting to get inundated with messages and they can't reply to them all. There's too much. So it's beginning to be a bit like emails were in the past, where people were saying it's all full of junk mail. Your messages are now full of junk messages as well. So it doesn't really make any difference. But why do I say email is gold? And why you should build your list? And this is the way marketing works. When you market, you're sowing seeds. It's not an instant sale. You're getting people to know and trust you, and that takes time. So if you are only sending out your message and are blasting something, putting some offer out, and you do it one time, and people show interest, but they don't go any further, then you're not going to get any sales. Or statistically, they say you're going to get about 3% of the responses. If you put something out, maybe 3% will buy from you immediately, because just statistically, you happen to land on their desk or in front of them at some point at a time when they actually need your service. So it's only those that have the immediate need and were looking anyway that are going to respond and say, yes, I want this. So that's about 3%. What about the other 97%? That's a huge number that you're leaving on the table if you do not nurture them. And the easiest way to nurture them is email. All right. So you get them to sign up for something, you get their email, you give them a freebie, get their email. 3% will act on that freebie and go further with you. The other 90% won't. So if you don't then start to send them regular emails to nurture them, get them to know and trust you, keep offering them things, giving them value, then those 97% are just lost leads. So you want to be bringing them in, nurturing them until you get you're going to change those 97%. Some of those will turn into customers, and most of those will turn into customers as time goes on. If you don't capture their email and you don't do that work, you're leaving most of your leads, most of the money on the table, because those leads are people that would buy from you because they were interested in the first place in taking something forward with you, but they just weren't ready at that particular moment, or you never know why they just stopped midway from dealing with you. They just lost focus. They moved on to something else. You don't know. So it's up to you. It's your responsibility to get in front of them again, put the offer out again, make sure they heard it, right? And the way to do that is to build a list. And once they're on your list, until they unsubscribe, that means every time you have an offer, you can send them a new offer. So you can increase the life cycle of your existing customers as well. So build a list. Another reason for building a list is you don't want to rely on your social media platforms solely as the way to communicate with your customers, because the algorithms change, these social media platforms change, some go down, some change the way they work, they change the way you can reach customers, and you have no control over that at all. Now, this is your business and you need to take control of your business. So by leaving all of your leads, connections on social media and not taking them off onto an email list, you run the risk of losing contact with those customers because they're not yours in a way, because they belong to that platform. You've got to take them off, build a list. I really can't stress this enough. The list is yours. The list is yours. Okay, the social media platform is not. Okay, so that was quite a long one. So 14, pricing matters. Don't undercharge. Charge for value. So you want to, this is where personal branding again, and branding of your company is so important, is the perception you put out there of the value that you deliver allows you to charge a fair price for your services or your products. You don't want to be cutting your prices to match the competition, or when people negotiate you down on price. If you start to try to outbid your competitors, that's just a race down to the bottom and no one wins. And you're not going to be in business very long if you're constantly cutting your prices. So you want to be secure in your value, know your value, charge your worth. So if you have a strong brand, you're able to say, this is my price, And you'll find when you're confident in your price, people are not going to bargain you down anyway. They'll have that, they'll feel from the way you're putting yourself out there that this is my fair price and I don't talk about negotiating this down. All right. That's all to do with branding. So pricing does matter. You need to make sure that you're able to make a profit from the prices you charge, and you want to charge for value. You're discussing value with your clients, not price. Okay. 15, get comfortable with selling. This was a hard one for me. This was really hard. You need to make offers, and you need to be constantly pitching and selling, right? You've got to keep putting offers out there, and then you've got to be comfortable with selling. And I look at this now, I used to be really uncomfortable selling, but I look at this now as I'm providing a service, or I'm serving my clients by putting my stuff out there, by letting them know what I have to offer and how I can help them. I look at this now as serving, not selling. So it's my responsibility to put my stuff out there and to explain to people what I do and how I can help them. That's my responsibility for me to serve them. So I'm not selling. They can take my services or leave them, right? It's up to them. But as long as I've put myself out there and I've said, this is how I can help you. If they take it, fine. If they don't take it, it's not for them. And it's not selling, it's serving. All right. If you look at it that way, just reframe it into serving, it changes the way you go about selling, because you're putting the customer first and not the price first, or yourself first. It does matter. Okay, so that was 15, get comfortable with selling. 16, systems save time. Now I'm all about this with my clients in my inner circle. Once we've built the business up, we look at systemizing things. So it's really important that you do systemize, that you have what we call standard operating procedures in place. And this is good for several ways. This will benefit your business. You basically want to automate where you can. If you have to do something twice, automate it. All right. And definitely record the standard operating procedures, step by step, what people have to do. Now, even if it's just you in the business to start off with, you're the only person in the business and you're wearing all the hats and you're doing everything, document down step by step every process that you have. Document it down, so that when you do start to hire a team and you have someone come in to take over one role, you can give them those SOPs, those standard operating procedures, and just walk them through step by step how they do the work for you. So they're not one guessing how to do it. They're not making it up for themselves and doing it their way. They're doing it the way you need it to be done, because you know it works, because you've been through it. All right. But you also want to be open to making changes. If they have a good suggestion for how it could work better, fine. You're always looking to optimize these systems. You're always looking to change them where you can. And another reason systems are really good is it allows you to blame the system rather than blame the staff if something goes wrong. So you keep morale up. So if your staff have followed a system and they've done everything step by step as they're supposed to do, and something goes wrong, then you can look at the system and you can involve your staff as well, make it a collaborative process and say, okay, what happened here? And you go through step by step. Okay, we did this. Okay, at this point, this didn't work with this particular client. And you look at why, and then you build into the system a workaround for that so it doesn't happen again with another client. So that's what we talk about, improving the system all the time. So then not only are you not blaming the staff and making them feel bad for making a mistake, which wasn't really their mistake, they were just following orders. 2, you're actually involving them in the process of fixing it so they feel more part of the company, part of the solution, and more valued for what they do. So systems are really important for that as well. So it's important for keeping your business running like clockwork, and it's important for staff morale, for them to be able to feel comfortable in what they're doing and know that they're not going to be blamed as long as they're following the systems. Okay. Now, I would also recommend you do systems in written form. so that step by step they can read, but also document it in video as well, because you get different people who learn different ways. Some people like to watch the video, some people like to read. So if you do it both ways, and then the only mistake I guess then they can make is that they didn't read the SOPs, or they didn't watch the video. But that's got to be a prerequisite for their job. Yeah, so systems definitely save time. And once you have like repeated things in place on autopilot, and there's a lot of AI solutions that can help with this as well today, definitely look at having systems in your business. That's 16. 17, outsource sooner than you think is another one. Don't do everything yourself. This is, I think, I would say probably a number one issue with a lot of business owners when they first start their business. And I was guilty as charged as well. When I started mine for the first time, I was trying to do everything myself. When you delegate, when you outsource to other people to do the things that, okay, there's two things you want to outsource. You want to outsource the things that you're not good at. Definitely hire people that are better than you at certain things. So if you're not good at it, don't do it, outsource it. And also, if it's work that is, how would I say this, that you can pay people at a lower price than what you're worth per hour, outsource it. All right. So for example, let me give you an example, sending out quotes and invoices, right? That's an administration job. Should I, as the business owner, be sending out quotes and invoices, right? At the beginning, when I'm starting the business, yes. If I'm the only person in the business, I'm the only person that can do that. But you need to be thinking about getting some kind of either a VA, a personal assistant, or an admin assistant very early on in your business, so that you can put all of that work onto them. And that's something that is not worth your time at that point. As you're running your business, you should be working on the business, not in it at that point. So look at outsourcing as soon as you can to the jobs that either you're not good at, or it's, I can't say beneath you to do, but it's things that you shouldn't be doing as a founder, because you can hire people cheaper to do it for you. All right, so look at outsourcing and look at delegating, not just outsourcing, but delegating in general, but not abdicating. That's another story. But I found out for my own business once, when I broke my shoulder at one point, and it's amazing when you break your shoulder how you can't do anything else. I couldn't move any part of my body in the early few weeks of breaking my shoulder. And my staff just said to me, look, don't worry about anything. You don't come into the office, don't do anything, you're okay, we'll handle it. And they did. And I just left it for them to do. When I came back to the office, I realized that the business was still going. They were doing what they were supposed to do. Now, one of the reasons is we had SOPs, but they knew their job, they knew what they had to do. Don't do it alone where you can. As soon as you can afford to, you need to start building a team, okay? And whether that's an in-house team or an outsourced team, you need to, again, still be looking lean, but making a decision at some point. Do I need someone physically there in an office with me, or is my model going to be I'm just going to have an outsourced remote team? All right, but whatever you choose, just make sure you've got people helping you and you're not doing everything yourself. That's the fastest way to burn out. So that is 17, outsource sooner than you think. Number 18, understand taxes and legalities. You want to make sure that you are operating your business legally. So make sure you register your business in the right way. Make sure if you need any licenses from the government or anything like that to operate your business, that you have those. Don't do anything under the table. Keep it all legal. Keep all records. And just run your business as a proper legal entity. So keep things clean. Okay. Number 19, prepare for mindset shifts. This is a big one. Growth requires getting uncomfortable. You will find after a few years of running your business that you are a very different person from the person who started it, because you will grow as you start to learn the business and you start to learn what works. And you will work on your own. You tend to find business leaders work on their own skills. They're constantly in learning. They're constantly improving or looking to improve. So prepare for mindset shifts, and just be open to learning as much as you can. And keeping a positive mindset is also something that is a skill that has to be learnt as well. Sometimes when business it gets a bit challenging and you're on your own, it can be very easy to fall into a negative mindset. But a positive mindset will give you so much more in your business. So you've got to have a system to getting you out of that negative space and into the positive. And that could just be whether you go for a walk outside or whatever. You've got to be able to make that shift, right, in your business. And then just understand that you will grow as a business leader as your business grows as well. Number 20, don't quit too soon. I don't know if you've seen the meme on social media of them mining a tunnel to get to the gold on the other side, and you've got the one person who gives up when there's just like a centimeter before they will actually hit gold, right? And they give up too soon. So a lot of the times people tend to give up just before the business turns a corner, right? So try not to give up and quit too soon. Give your business time to gain traction. Work as hard as you can at making it work. And this is the way I ran my business. I had the mental attitude when I started my business of, this is not going to fail. This is not going to fail. I have got to make this work because this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I've got to make this work. Don't quit. Keep going. So one of the, I think, personality traits of leaders and business owners is this tenacity to keep going. Right, keep going. 21, have a mentor. Learning from someone who's done it always shortens the journey, right? So if you're trying to guess it yourself, and the likelihood is you're going to make mistakes, it's going to take you longer to get to a certain goal because you're figuring things out and you've got to stop, start. If you're learning from someone else who's done it, you just ask them a question. Is this a good idea to do this? And they can go, whoa, hold on, wait. Let's do this first, or don't do this at all because it's not going to work. So having a mentor to guide you that's already done it. So learn from those that do, or learn that those that have gone before you and done it before you. It's always going to shorten your learning curve. It's always going to shorten your journey. You're going to get results much quicker if you invest in having a mentor than if you don't. And that's something in my business I've always had. All the way through my business, I've had different coaches working on different aspects of the business with me, because they see things that you won't see yourself. They'll see your blind spots, and they can give a different perspective on things as well and make you think, okay, that's a good idea, I should do that. And you might not have thought of that if left to your own devices. So always have a mentor as well. Okay, so let me know which of the 21 surprised you most. Put it down in the comments. And if you're wanting a step-by-step plan to get your business set up the right way, then check out my Business Launchpad program. I'll put a link below and that will guide you every step of the way. So the link will be in the description or in the comments somewhere around this video. That's My Business Launchpad. I can help you to start your business off on the right way. All right, that's it for now.